This is Yo Sensei. Today, in this class, we are going to learn operative diagram using Rhino and Illustrator. And what we are trying to do here is to take an example of building facade. And so we're going to draw a series of operations in each layer. Hopefully, each element has some kind of meaning to it, so that it is design decision based on site condition and local traffics and views and other things. So so we are going to do that today. Okay. So open up a new Rhino file. New Rhino, and using template and large objects feet and inches. So that would be the proper building size. So let's use this template. Okay. So first of all, what we would like to do is to create a box, 3D box using grid snap at 0. We will draw something like 40 feet by 20 feet by 20 feet. So you can type these numbers by feet and inches. So if it's 20 feet, you can type 20 and a single quotation mark. If it's 20 inches, you can type the double quotation mark. So you can enter feet and inches doing this. So if you are drawing something like 40 feet and 6 inches, you would type like this to get that number. Okay, so that's how to input numbers. So we can just run a dimension tool by clicking on the object snapping on the left bottom side. If you are using Windows, that would be at the bottom, but we are using Mac. So another thing that would be useful is to turn on project button, so that everything we draw is going to be drawn on the construction plane. Okay, so now we are going to draw these dimensions, so that's good. So these are 40 feet by 20 feet by 20 feet. I'm just going to put it into one layer and hide it for now. So this is our first layer. So what we are going to do is we are going to draw a series like this. First, we are going to get to our default layer, go to the front view, and draw a bunch of circles. So on this view, I am going to draw a circle, copy this circle a couple of times. I got it off, so copy it from, oh, it's not drawn properly. So I will draw by my circle and then copy it at quadrant, copy it 3 times, and take those 3 circles, move by typing M, move tool, move to here. Oops. I didn't select it properly. So move from the bottom to the bottom, and then move it like this. And then here we can just run scale 1D command. Scale 1D, scale 1D command, and then the scale this down. Oh, not the scale 1D, but scale 3. So scale. It needs to be the scale command. So we start from here, oops. Scale from here and to here. And then move this back by move tool. So now we can copy by running copy command, type COPY, like that. And then just copy these circles. Okay. So I can just adjust my, 40 by 20 actually gives us the perfect match for the circles, so that's good. So this is our first layer, and this drawing actually needs to have a parallel view, isometric view, and right now we are in perspective view. So you have to change the setting right here, the projection setting. It's going to come up when you just have nothing selected with property panel open. So we are going to change this to parallel view. Okay. So now this looks like an isometric drawing. So now we have the first layer, so that's good. So we can just take this one and go to our next layer by right-clicking on layer 1 and copy objects to this layer. So we have copied everything from default layer to layer 1. We're going to activate layer 1 and turn off the default layer. So the only thing that we have is on layer 1. So after that, on this one, what we would like to do is to change the scale of these circles. So some of them are big and some of them are small. So, you know, what you can do is take a few circles and make them, you know, big, and then start moving stuff around. You could actually reduce the number of it. And you know, make some of them to be small. So we have like a little bit of tension between the scale of things. So this is going to be, you know, interesting, some kind of like facade condition where you have, you know, things getting changed and have different scales. So at this point, we're gonna just you know, move forward and so now what we have is we have changed the scales of these circles. So now we can just run the trim command, trim trim command, to take out some of the parts that are open. What we would like to do is use this one for the entry and parking entry and maybe swimming pool right here. So this is our second layer, which is going to look like this. Nice little facade. Okay, so now we are going to extrude all of these. So when we are extruding these, it's going to be a little bit problematic if we have some of the circles open and some of them closed. So what we're gonna do is we can take this one, right click on layer 2, copy to this layer, turn it off. So now we have this, but we would like to go to these open curves and run close curve command. You just type close curve. Okay, and so that's going to close these circles. So now what we want to do on this layer is to extrude all of these openings. Extrude these openings, so something like that. But when you're extruding, extrude curve is the command. Make sure that you can turn on and off solid, and if you want to make it solid, then you turn on solid, and if you don't, you type you have the solid off. So if you have the solid off and you want to make it solid later on, what you can do is select these extrusions and type cap. Okay. Okay. So so this is our layer 3. So that is extruded piece. So the next part we are going to do is we are going to create this kind of like wavy undulating curvature in front of this, and so that's going to create curvy shape. So layer 3 is going to be, I select this, right click layer 3, and copy objects layer, turn it off, and you will have this blue layer. So now on this blue layer, what we would like to do is to create a couple of nice looking curves. This kind of like pretty subtle S type of curve. And you can mirror, copy this one, and then copy one on either side. Okay, and then move this one, the other side, to be in the middle. So now we can create a lofted surface out of this loft. Yeah. So it worked. Sometimes it doesn't work when you click on different parts of the loft. So for example, when you type loft and then click here and click here and click here, it's going to create this kind of twist. So what you need to do is type loft and then click the part in order. So A, B, C. So that's going to create your loft. Okay, so now we can just apply this line or split, Boolean split these surfaces by this one. But it's a little bit tricky in a way that we can't really reach this surface using Illustrator. So what we're gonna do is we can just go on the top view of this and run a contour command of this line. So contour command. And what contour command is going to do is it's going to create series of lines along the surface. So run contour command, select the surface, press enter, start from here, going this way, about 2 inches in between. That is going to give us this kind of line. I think this line is a little bit too fine, so I'm going to change it to something like 6 inches. So contour, and click here, and type 6 inches. So that's going to give us this kind of like topography line over the surface, which is useful. So I'm just going to group it, and so it's going to be shown when we make 2D. So next, select all of these, right click, and onto next layer, create a new layer on layer 4. So layer 4, so we have this. At this point, we don't need this stuff, so we can just get rid of the lines. And then just we want to Boolean split. So select from right to left, select these volumes, Boolean split by surface, Boolean split. So this surface is split by this surface. Very nice. So we have this kind of, undulating surface cutting through. I find it a little bit not beautiful. So if you can just, for the sake of beauty of the building, it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the same as the diagram. So Boolean difference. Oh, Boolean difference works against the surface, so that's not bad. So, or you can do Boolean split, or so Boolean. When you're running Boolean split, these circles, these volumes need to be closed poly surface, which you can check right here. Closed poly surface under property. So you always have to know what your project object type is by clicking on the object, going to properties, and look for this. Okay, so that would be our layer 4. Okay, so that's this one. So next part, we are going to create a inner circle that is going to cut through our object. So on the next layer, I am going to select all of these and right-click, copy objects, activate this layer. So on the pink layer, we are going to take all of these circles. So I think there is a new offset multiple command. Offset multiple. Okay, so there is a new command that says offset multiple. So let's try this. So select curves to offset, which are all of these curves, which we can select on top view from selecting. Ooh. This actually selects all of the edges. So I'm just going to select all of these curves and group them. And then offset multiple. Offset multiple is going to make me offset towards, okay. For some reasons, if I went from the front view, then it worked. So now I am going to select those inside curves from the front view. Curve, curve, curve. And then extrude these inner curves by running extrude curve command. This time, make sure you're doing solid, and it will pass all of the extruded, previously extruded parts. So this is our piece that is going to be extruded. So this is piping volumes and then extruding. Okay, so the last part is going to be Boolean differencing all of these outside ones with inside ones. So on layer 7, which is cyan, I am going to select everything and right click and copy objects to this layer. Okay, so now we have this. So we can select all of the inside ones or outside ones, and then Boolean difference, and then run this command. So we have pieces that are, some of them are outside and some of them are inside. Okay, so that's really nice. So we are going to take this one and then, yeah, let's see. We might want to add some more. Okay, so the next step is to go back to each layer and add some kind of reason behind each operation and in terms of type condition. Okay, so we are going back to our default layer, which is our circular one. So this one, I guess it's the starting grid. That's fine. So go to the next one, deactivate the layer. So on this one, what we would like to do is to create some people coming in, and so that's going to create certain entry needs. So what you can do is import some scale figure. So I am on this link, the description section of the YouTube, you will have the people that are in proper scale. So I'm just going to bring them and put them in the people layer. So in this case, I would like to get some of the people, walking people, to be entering the building. So maybe these people, and to be entering into the building. So I am going to move these people here and move her to be walking in here, move them to here, and then these people are kind of walking into these spaces. And also I could just draw a line which indicates entry to the building. Okay, so now we can just put all of these people inside of the layer 1. Okay, so that would be the entry indication of the entry. Is going to be that. And also I will draw some arrows on the front view saying these lines are enlarged and well, contracted, and these lines are expanded. So these will be useful in terms of communicating the shift of the scale. And we can just add arrows inside of Illustrator. So maybe I can do one more. Okay, so these lines. So that would be the first layer. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next one. This one indicates extrusion of the form. So in this one, I think what we can do is we can draw something like an arc of the sun, and so to indicate, where the sun position is. So in the front view, with project option on, I'm going to draw a arc, half circle, and so we don't have to be incredibly scientific about the angle of the sun. This kind of indicates that the sun is on the sun is on a south is this direction, north is this direction. So I could actually also draw a north arrow here. And so what that means is that this is sun is going to rise from the east and be high on the south side and sets on the west side. So we can just run divide command, and divide this line into 6 segments. So that's going to give me a bunch of these points. So to these points, we can just draw a sphere, turn off project so that we can just draw on the 3-dimensional point. Okay, so we can then change it to ghosted viewport and copy this line from the point to the point to the point. So what we do is we divided this curve into 6 segments, and then we take 2, 4, and 6 points, and then that will indicate the motion of the sun. So that's what we have for layer second layer. Okay, we don't need these points, so we can type cell pt cell point, and then delete those. Okay, so that would be the third one. Fourth one is going to be this kind of wavy line. So in this one, I think what we do is we will just draw this kind of like traffic of the site kind of drawing. So to indicate how the pressure of the site traffic is going to work. So that's that. Next one is, so on the green one, we would like to indicate something like a view of the mountain behind. So we can, on the front view, we can just draw a super simple picture window that indicates the mountain like that, and another mountain. Okay, so then we can just move this one behind, and so it can be seen from the building behind. So in this case, this view is behind this building. So what we can do now is to go to behind this box and draw a diagonal line. And that is going to give us the midpoint. So from this midpoint, we can draw this line to the corner of this, and from this corner to this point, from this corner to this point, and from this corner to this point. So you can show this kind of like, viewing cone on this, which is nice. So we can just delete this. So that's like a mountain view. Okay, so that for the next layer, what we would like to do is to show the wind that is going through on each direction. So we can just draw, kind of nice wavy line on both sides. So that will, indicate here is the wind direction. Okay. So, but we can add line weights and stuff in Illustrator. Okay. Yeah, maybe these look a little bit better if it's lifted from the ground. That's probably better. So for the next one, that would be the cutout. And for this one, I would like to put some people inside of the windows. And, I would like to make one of these to be a pool. So that's kind of a cool touch. So I will get this guy to move to here, and this guy to be moved to here. Some person entering near the entry, and somebody should be swimming in this. So this person can be good at swimming, I guess. It's kind of, nice that way. And so for each, I'm looking at my perspective view and moving my scale figures to be coming out, so that they will look like they are kind of, sitting on the building. Okay. And this person is going to be swimming. And so turn this way. So for the tool, what I'm going to do is take this polysurface out onto this direction. And what we can do is we can use move faces command to move just this space to extrude back to the building. So I will turn on project and run move face command. And click on this face. And then move it from here to here. Okay. So this space is moved back. Now I would also like to take out the cap of this one. So I'm just going to draw a big box. And that's going to be cutting this out. So when you're running Boolean difference, both needs to be closed polysurface or closed extrusion. Okay. So take this and Boolean difference, BD, Boolean difference, and take this one out. So we can have this part that is being cut off. Next part we're going to do is draw a body of tool. So we can just draw another box that's going out like this. And so this one should be slightly smaller than this piece. So Boolean difference, the box with delete input off. So now we can just take out the outside. Actually, they should be intersecting a little bit more. So Boolean difference the water and cut it out and take this one out. So we have this water. Okay. And this lady should be actually floating a little bit above the water so that it's going to look like she's swimming. So that is our final layer. So to show some occupancy. Okay, where is this person? So maybe this person is like walking by, here. Okay, so now we are going to run make 2D command for each layer, and so that's going to indicate, each spatial occupation. So here we are going to make 1D, make 2D, and create these into flat drawings. So make 2D command, make 2D command. And so the setting for this is going to be view for the projection, and option object properties to be maintained source layers, tangent edges on, hidden lines off, scene silhouette we don't need, viewport scene silhouette we need, viewport rectangle we don't need, group output yes, register with previous, I don't know about that one, so just apply. So it draws here, so that's nice. We can just move it out of the way. So that would be the first one. So the second one, make 2D, same stuff. And move this to this layer, this area. So make sure all of the objects are aligned with each other. And next one, take this one, make 2D, Oh, did I change the scale? No, I did. Okay, so that's in the right location. Next one, this make 2D. So in this case, what happens is that when you have a surface to surface intersection on Rhino between this surface, this poly surface, and this surface, it's not drawing the line that it's supposed to draw. So what you need to do when you're having this kind of situation is I will undo and to select all of these cylinders here and select this this line, this surface, and run intersect command. Intersect. Okay, so that's going to draw this line that is going to give you this intersection line. So that would be helpful. So I'm gonna go back to this and make 2D. So for this one, I have all the lines that are showing the intersection between the objects. Ooh, it's slightly off. And I must have changed my viewport. So before that, but I'm just gonna keep going. Make sure this doesn't happen for you. Next one is this green one with the view. So make 2D. And so you have this, we will move this to this layer. So yeah, this area. So it's kind of a little bit off, but you know, yeah, that sucks. So make 2D. And move this to this corner. Next up, it's last one. And did I not have the swimming people? Okay, yeah, swimming people here. I would like to put all of these into my layer 7. So when it gets super confusing when you don't have them in the same layer. And for some reasons, they are not in the right layer. So these people should be in layer 7, move objects to layer. Okay. So everything is here. Make 2D. Okay. And then move this corner from here to there. Okay, so even though it said that those curves are maintaining the source layer, it actually creates the scene silhouette line and curves layer. So they are all shown in this layers. And so, you know, what's really cool about this giving us scene silhouette is that we can make these lines to be a little bit thicker and stuff. So, so we will take everything and then go to File and Export Selected and export as Adobe Illustrator file, operative diagram.ai, and replace. And you can use scale to be snapshot of current view. RGB is fine. Export viewport boundary, not really. Hatches, order layers. I think we could turn this on. Okay, so rest of that we will open it in Illustrator. So after exporting the Rhino file, we will open the file. After exporting the file from Rhino to Illustrator, we are going to open the file on Adobe Illustrator. And do this. So first thing that we would like to do is to go to Artboards and edit Artboards. And change it to something like NTSC-DB, not this one, HDTV 1080p and 1920 by 1080. So that would be the good resolution for a screen. So that would be that. And so first we have everything here. So we can take everything and make them go pretty big like this. Okay, so everything is coexisting in this view. So let's look at the layer system. So in terms of the layers, what we have here is we have the scene silhouette layer, which is this one, which gives you outline of the whole thing, which is really useful for diagramming. And so on this one, we can just click this little circle next to the layer, which is going to let you select everything on that layer. So by selecting this, and we can change this line weight to 2 points for the outline, and take all the inside lines. And I would like to change it to 1 point, I think. So for this one, maybe 3 points. Yeah, so 3 points on the outside line and 1 point on the inside. So we will keep doing this same thing. So that would be the scene silhouette layer. So we can change this, select everything from here, and change the stroke to black, and change outline to 3 points, and change inner line to be black outline and 1 point. However, we don't really want these people to be too strong, so we can just get rid of these people from the silhouette layer, and so we can have these. So for this one, these are the indication of the entry. So we can go into stroke and find arrow by clicking this little option tab, and then arrowheads, and find relatively neutral and nice arrow, and then you can also change the the scale of the arrow too. So something like that would be nice. For these ones, we would like to also add arrowheads. That should be going on the inside actually for these guys. And for these ones, we will have the arrows going outside because they're expanding, and these ones are also expanding. 7. So this will indicate the entry and also the scaling of the circles. So that would be this layer. Number 3, we will have the sun and extrusion. And so I guess on this one, we can just, again, we can take the outline of everything and make it black and make it into 3 points. I think we missed a few lines here and there, so I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but black line, 1 point. So in this case, what we can do is take these lines and make them a dash line. So maybe a 6 point or 8 point dash line for the sun. Also for these guys, what I would like to do is morning sun is typically yellow, and midday sun is relatively more orange-ish, and then late afternoon sun is more oranges. So this kind of like indicates, what time of the day it is. So we can use that. So that would be number 3. Okay, and number 4 would be this one. So this one indicates the traffic flow. So well, for all of these, they all can be black stroke, and some of the curves are missing, so we can just take out, these lines. And so when that happens, just, feel free to go into Illustrator and fix these things. So this one kind of shows site traffic flow. So this can be, the dotted line with arrows. Maybe this one is flipping direction. Okay. So that is that. But for the outline, I would again like to change this outline to 3 points. However, this is missing some of the lines. So on this part, it's not showing the outline. So what we can do is press C for scissors tool, which is here, and then separate this line from here, and direct selection tool, A, and change this to 3.9, so that it will still get the outline. For that matter, this one is not right, so I can press C to bring scissors tool and then change this line by using eyedropper tool to change this stroke. So this one, okay. Oh yeah, so this one, C, and split, and then take this line and make it into a 1 point. Okay. So you want to capture the entire outside line of this drawing. Okay. So now we are going to go into green layer. So on this one, we have this the whole thing to be black stroke, and then take the scene silhouette, and that's going to be 3 points. And then rest of it is going to be 1 point. In this case, this one is also a non-real line, so we can change it to -9, like 8 points. So that would be the view. If you want to paint this stuff, I think you can do it. So you can select everything, and then run shape builder tool. So you can click inside of the shape to make this into kind of closed poly line, and then you can add colors like stuff like that. That kind of messes up my thing, so I'm just gonna keep it simple like this. So it's missing some of the parts, so I don't really like it. So I just can take this part and then make it into a 3 points. So one thing that you should know about Rhino's Make 2D is that it's not always perfect, and so you have to do certain things to kind of pick up the sloppiness of this, and then so you can just draw another line here, and then just kind of like go ahead and add the sticker line to it. Okay. So yeah, there's some imperfections, but I guess that's okay for this one. Going into the next one. This one indicates the flow of the wind. So again, select everything, change it to black stroke, and take scene silhouette. And for this layer, we are going to be using 3.9. Looking at with under layer. So yeah, this stuff. Okay, so yes, we are going to take this one. No, start from here. Start from, if you touch 1.9, it's going to start from there. So it's kind of annoying. So I'm just gonna intentionally not touch that, and then draw another kind of line that are missing. At this step, oh, did I do it wrong? Yeah. So you don't want to connect it to the line. Okay. So that would be 3 points, and then at this point, you can make it relatively roughly, and it's going to be just fine. On these parts, there are a lot of imperfections. Okay, so something like this, and this one indicates the wind, so we can just again run dotted line and just arrows to be 150%. Okay, so that would be that, and so the last part is these people in the space. So again, we take this whole thing, we get rid of the people, take this thing, make it black, and make it into 3-point outline, and then take this, and this portion will also be 1.9. So now what we have here is that we have this line that is supposed to be, so we're going to separate by C, and then take this line to be 3 points. 3 points. Yeah, so the rest of it is okay. C, split it, and make it 3 points. Okay. Yeah, this guy is kind of seeing in a weird place, but that's okay. So to make this into a pool, we will select this region and then use the shape builder tool to select this and take this one, fill it with kind of green, bluish line. So that side is darker than the top side. So you can create different tones. Maybe this person is going to look like shape builder, and then paint it like this. So yeah, this person seems like So for each frame, I guess we can just merge down these layers by clicking here and merge selected for so merge selected for black layer, merge selected for red layer, purple, merge selected, blue, merge selected. So you can merge 2 layers, but it's very useful when they have both scene silhouette and the real line. So so now we have these layers, each layer. And so what we can do is we are going to add text for each. So we start with, this, we can say existing condition, and change, never use myriad probe. Then medium. Okay. So this is existing condition and then you should probably have a title and a subtitle. So circular window array. Okay, so I am going to run this video faster at this point, and then just deal with the text. So that would be this. To copy this into another layer, you can select this way, copy, and click on the next, activate the next layer, and Command Shift Paste. That's going to paste into a different layer. Okay, it's going to go. So now that we have everything drawn into different layers, now is the time to create multiple artboards, and then put all of the layers into different artboards, so that when you save it as PDF, you can save it as multi-page PDF. So for the second artboard, I will turn on the second layer. So I can just go to Artboard and click on plus mark to create multiple artboards. So there will be 7. For some reasons, there is this command to rearrange artboard, but I think the artboard is a little bit too big to the file area, so it doesn't let you rearrange. So, but I think that's okay. So select these objects from this artboard, Command X to paste, and then click on the next artboard and Command Shift Paste to it should be on the same layer. So Command Shift Paste to same layer. So next, we will take this layer. This layer needs to be activated. Select everything, cut, and Control Shift Paste for Windows or Command Shift Paste for Mac. This one, take this one, cut. Select this this guy, this artboard, and then Command Shift Paste. Ooh, it's not really letting you do that. We would like everything to be located in the same location. So what we can do instead is just draw some object like this on the corner right here, and select everything, and then drag everything here. Okay, yeah, that's probably better. And take this one. I guess we can just this guy, and delete this one. Take this one, copy it to here, delete this one, and take this one and delete, move this over to here. So when we move everything and turn on everything, so we have all of the drawings in different artboards. So now what we can do is just save as a PDF file. So in the end, what we have is this series of operative frames diagram. So the first frame is existing condition. So we would like to read, the explanation or operation on the top column, and in the second line, we would like to show the reason behind it. So this is the existing condition with circular window array. Next one is expansion and contraction of these circles. So windows are scaled differently to accommodate entry and fenestration conditions. So windows and entry. Extrusion and circles are extruded to provide the shading to the front face of the building. Dissection, dissecting the cylinders with this plane. So dissecting the extruded cylinders to follow the traffic pattern. So there is a traffic pattern that informs this surface, and that's dissecting the facade. Next one is splitting the extruded parts with surface, and that we do have then the view in the back. Offset and hollowing. So cylinders are offset to create openings to get cross ventilation. So there is a wind condition and there is cross ventilation. Last one is pool and balcony. We extruded some of the pieces on the pool and balcony condition where people can occupy. So that concludes our operative diagram tutorial. I hope this was useful, and you please do this methodology to create your own diagrams. Thank you very much.